think we are go.
All right.
All right.
All right.
All right. So what's up, everybody? This is the first episode of the GoonedUpNerds podcast. I am your host, Oscar, and across from me today I have
Nick.
The purpose of this podcast is just to really discuss movies, first and foremost, because that's really my main wheelhouse. I do like other things like, video games and wrestling and things like that, and I guess you could say comics too, just because I really revolve around comics, as those are basically roided out storyboards.
Pretty much, yeah, for the most part.
So, and we'll talk about all that stuff just because it'll mesh and kind of all go together, just because a big purpose of this podcast and the platform that I'm going on is a very anti-fanboy platform. Because, I mean, the biggest thing I always say is the stuff I love would be awesome if it weren't for the people that also love them with me. Because some of those people ruin everything for you. A lot Rick and Morty fans is a big one.
Oh, yeah.
Rick and Morty. Star Wars fans are starting to get like that too.
Mm.
And I'm also starting to see a lot of that shit with comic people, especially now with Marvel being the big thing now.
Because of the MCU.
Yeah. That is really my platform.
No, I do that. Honestly, that really bothers me though too, the whole MCU, because it's just like all these people now are like, oh yeah. And it's just like, I love Deadpool. It's like, hey, did you know about him any time before this at all? Probably not. All right.
No, and I mean, I do appreciate them exposing people to that stuff.
Right.
But then I get like an earful from those people about like how much they know about stuff they just recently discovered. And then I also get an earful from people that have been into it for a long time that are just like, this is bullshit. Like, why are they ruining the thing that I like? You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
And then me here in the middle that has been doing it just like a moderate amount of time. Like, I kind of fell into back into comics right when the movie started getting back in, because I wasn't a Marvel person. I was into Image. I was into Spawn and all that weird
fucking
stuff.
Image is amazing though.
Yeah, no, Image is
Spawn.
Awesome. That's really this big platform for that. I just don't like hardcore fans that just ruin it for other fans that are just trying to have fun.
Well, it's like the type of shows that we go to. It's like, there's the elitists, and sometimes those people ruin it for everybody else.
Yeah, and it's annoying. So I really don't like that in a lot of the scenes that I'm in, not just comics too, like Nick said, music as well. And I'm not gonna lie either. I have been guilty of being that toxic fan. Like, I have definitely been, if you talk to me about the Venom movie, I will probably end up fighting you, especially if I'm drunk, because I fucking hate that movie. But it's for my own reasons, and that's something I'm going to get into later. But we're just going to go into some podcast foreplay, just something to ease the tension a little bit and just break the ice.
Oh yeah.
Nick, what are your top 5 movies?
Top 5?
Personal. It doesn't have to be. Don't have to impress nobody.
No genre.
Don't have to throw in no freaking
no
Citizen
time.
Kane or none of that good shit. Just whatever you feel like top 5 movies for you.
So I'm gonna go with then, because like a lot of people probably wouldn't have they'd go with what they love now, but I'm going with all time.
Yes.
And I watched this last night. One of them, I'm not going in order at all, but one of them would be Short Circuit.
Ooh, it's been a long time since I've seen that. I remember liking it as a kid though.
Yeah,
I gotta check that out again.
I own it on DVD, so I was like,
one of these days you gotta bring that over.
Dude, I have so many movies. I have to bring all of them over for just because. Yeah.
No, because that is something I'd like to do. Because there was a trend of like these weird 90s robots movies. Remember, what was it? Batteries Not Required with the little spaceships.
Oh, batteries not included. Yes.
Oh, batteries not included. Yes. But but anyways, you were saying Short Circuit.
Yeah, that was last night. I watched it last night, and I watched it with my friend, and she's like, "This isn't gonna be a movie that's gonna make the main character doesn't die at one point, and he comes back, right? Because I get attached to the character." The main character usually. And I'm like, no, he doesn't die. And there's a scene at the end where one of the robots, because he's Johnny 5, there was 5 of them, he jumped out of the back of the truck, and then they blew him up with but that wasn't him. He built a decoy, and she's like, you told me he doesn't die. And I'm like, I haven't watched it in a while, so I was like, kind of puzzled myself because I didn't remember that. Yeah. I'm like, wait, he doesn't die though. And then he's just like, when they start driving.
That's awesome though.
Oh yeah.
Or it's like you don't know it's actually you know the movie, but you're just like, I forgot about this part, and then it just kind of surprises you anyways again.
Oh yeah.
That's always nice.
I was just like, what the fuck? Because he's just like, oh hey, and she's like, oh, he's alive. I'm like, yeah, I told you he doesn't die in this. And in my head, I'm like, I knew it. I'm like, why did I just could just fuck
Why
me
did you
up for
second
a
guess
minute?
yourself?
Number 2. Well, the second one.
There's no like
no
discerning order or anything like that. Just top 5.
E.T.
Okay.
I mean, a
Understandable.
lot of people will hate me on that. Hate on me for that.
Why?
I don't know, because for some reason, one, there's people that like macking me over E.T. or just say E.T.'s some like Hollywood over like produced bullshit. It was made in what, like 1982?
I believe so. Maybe even later. I know it came out after E.T. because they were trying to write off that.
No,
hype.
E.T. came out in 82. Mac and Me came out later.
Oh yeah, I thought you were talking about Mac and Me.
Oh
okay.
yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Mac and Me came in like 88.
Yeah.
But a lot of people just say like, oh, like E.T.'s like too generic, and I'm like, there is so many things that I loved about that movie, because even today watching it, like I could smoke and I'll just sit there, and there's so many scenes where there's the side scene where like Drew Barrymore just you see her screaming and the brother like grabs her.
Yeah. No, there's a lot of good scenes in that. A lot of good scenes.
It's just. And there's so many things. It connects to so many other movies, like Star Wars.
The little Easter eggs.
Yeah.
I think that's my favorite is when like E.T. recognizes Yoda and he starts saying home and starts going towards him. Like, and then even better, I mean, granted, the prequels for Star Wars were shit.
Yeah.
But there's a moment, I forget which movie, where you see a circle of the Senate, and in one of the little Senate chairs, it's E.T.'s people, like shouting, trying to get into the conversation. I'm like, oh, that's nuts.
Fuck. All right, third one. 3 would be, oh my god, Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Ooh, that's a very good one. Very good one.
Just campy yet so good. I'm probably gonna say also Nightmare on Elm Street as a series, as all like as out of all any.
Yeah, you could do like
character,
a franchise as one thing.
I would say Nightmare on Elm Street.
Nightmare on Elm Street was a 4.
Which was 4? What was 4? Dream Warriors.
Oh no! I mean, like that was your number 4.
Oh, number 4. Yeah, sorry. No, there's one called Dream Warriors though.
I heard that is the best one.
No, that one. There's one that made me cringe because the kid, he made the kid sleepwalk, but in the kid's dream, he made him like a puppet, and his tendons were like connected to his wrists and his ankles, and I was like, that just made me cringe so fucking bad.
Yeah.
4. All right, 5.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I'm surprised you actually got them pretty quick.
Well,
I'm like trying to think of mine right now. I'm like, fuck.
I know, like I
have time.
I threw them pretty much, but there's holy shit, there's so many movies that I could just rattle off.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, you know what? I'm just gonna say one, and I'm just gonna say like probably, you know what? I'm gonna say Goon.
Ooh.
I have to, because
that's an overlap for us.
It's the
best hockey movie.
It's
the best hockey movie ever. Like, I love Slapshot, don't get me wrong.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's very dated, but it's cool to see because it's like a slice of life from that time period.
Yes.
But it's really funny. Don't get me wrong, it's funny as fuck, but it's like, Goon, and it's funny because Jay Baruchel, the director of that, he was saying like, we weren't going out to try and make a new Slapshot.
No.
But people keep comparing it to that, and I'm like, it's cool, but I mean, we're something else, and I completely agree. Like, it's such a good, it's one of the best. It is the best hockey movie. Period.
I wouldn't really compare it to Slapshot. I mean, like, just at least for the storyline for me.
Yes.
It's just I thought it was great because reason being is like Sean William Scott. He doesn't play like his normal character really.
That's really surprised me. When I saw that I'm like, wow, this guy can actually fucking act. I've heard other things too. Like there's another movie I heard that he was in, I think with The Rock. Southside Tales, I think it was called.
The Rundown?
No, not The Rundown. No, it was called like Southside Tales, something like that. But it was supposed to be some, I don't know. But they said that he also plays a very good role with that too. I was very surprised at his performance in that movie, and I'm like, you nailed it. Like that. Perfect. He played the gentle giant perfectly.
Yes, completely. He did that, and you never ever really saw that out of him, and that's what I loved. It was perfect. He was awkward. He was perfect.
Yeah, no, he was
perfectly awkward. I don't
was.
know if you could be perfectly awkward.
Yeah, he knew how to do that.
But the cameo from the dudes from the Trailer Park Boys.
Oh yeah, that was cool because I didn't even realize it. I'm like, well, those guys look so familiar. And then I like watch a Trailer Park Boys. So I'm like, oh fuck, those are the guys from the hot. And I just thought it was hilarious. Like that was a good throw in.
There was a decent amount of people in there. I mean, like obviously Jay Baruchel was in it himself. Who else? The one guy that was the coach. He's in the TV show Sons of Anarchy.
Yes, I actually really like him. Except I can't figure out. He's always in random movies doing random parts.
Yep.
But he was also he was really good as the coach. But no, that like, and I did like the sequel. You know, for what it was, you know, because it's a sequel. It's never going to be as good as the first one.
Right.
You can't compare it. Mm-hmm. But the only thing I just didn't like was they took certain turns with characters and they repeated a lot of stuff, a lot of throwback humor, which I'm like, all right. What do you call it? Like they kind of made Doug like not an awkward gentle giant, just made him just straight up like he has mental problems, like he's slow.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm like, you guys really are honing in on the fact that he has like problems, but it wasn't bad. And then at the end of it gave like a kind of a conclusion, like okay, like this is it. There's not gonna be any other movies after this, which is fine.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Like as a sequel, not bad. You know, I'll give it maybe a 7 out of 10.
Did
you see it?
I turned it on. I tried watching it. I just couldn't get into it. I don't know, maybe like 10 minutes into it or so I was like, this is not even.
No, I mean, but you just got to step away from like, all right, remember, it's not going to be as good as the first one. It just won't.
Yeah.
You know, I will give them this. They said that they were not going to do this unless they got most of the original cast. The only person that didn't show up was the guy that played the dad, who was also in American Pie.
Oh, Eugene Levy.
Yes, he was the only guy that didn't come back. But they were like, okay, unless everyone comes back, Eugene Levy, could give or take, whatever. He wasn't in the movie a lot. Then we're not going to do this movie. And then they got everyone back, and they put together the movie, and it's going to be low budget. They were never going to get anything more. And I thought it was cool. I mean, they did like some cool things. Like you saw some hockey players that you knew in the fight scenes and stuff. The book that was, because Gooned is based on a book, based on some guy's life. Like the real Doug Glatt is actually like he was a goon for a thing, for a team, a local team, and then he eventually became like a cop and taught people self-defense and stuff.
Oh shit.
But he actually the writer of the book actually shows up in one of the shit show fights, and Doug Glatt knocks him out and he's spraying blood everywhere. And it's a cool little throwback because you know what the guy looks like because at the end of Gooned they actually show live clips of the actual person. But yeah, no, I love Gooned. That was a very good choice. I guess while you clean the fish tank right now, I'll get into mine. And Gooned was our overlap. That's my one because I love that. That's like I said, my favorite hockey movie. And I love hockey movies. Like Miracle, I love. What was it? Mighty Ducks.
Oh,
I love Mighty Ducks.
And see that's why like giving me like a top 5.
It's hard, right? Because then you hear something and you're like, oh, why didn't I think of that? But like, I like Mighty Ducks, but it has its problems. Like if you see, like. If you watch hockey and you know how hockey rules work, you're like, none of this shit that these kids are doing is legal, and yet they're getting away with it and winning. Like, I think in the second one, like one of the kids is like a cowboy, and he ropes one of them, and I'm like, you can't
do that. That's penalty.
You can't do that. Like you get thrown out of the fucking game.
Yep.
And but I mean that was actually pretty good because that was a kind of an homage to Miracle.
Oh,
that movie.
Well, Kenan Thompson also in the second one. He's like, can't get pet. No, they can't get my knuckle puck. And it's like, who's really? You know what? As a kid, I tried that.
Every kid who had a hockey stick and a puck tried that. Everyone. I did it when I was in Manhattan in like in an apartment, and my mom got pissed at me because I fucking broke a bunch of shit. Because obviously I didn't nail the fucking shot, so it just went wild around the room because it was a rubber puck. And and it just started knocking shit over. So no, it was a mess.
I don't know. I used to play I used to live on a dead end when I was a kid, so I used to just play in the right in in the street and shit. And there was one kid that was like older than me, like that lived across the street. Him and his cousin and shit, they would legitimately play street hockey. Like one kid would fucking wear like all the goalie gear and shit.
Yeah.
Just get all for that. And I'm like, shit, this is fucking cool.
Yeah, no, I mean it's yeah, I love that shit, and I love the Mighty Ducks. I wouldn't put that in my top 5 though, but
I wouldn't put it in my top
Goon
5.
is in my top 5.
It's an honorable mention.
Yeah, honorable mention. I'll say that. I guess 2. The original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie, because that is, I don't know why anyone doesn't bring it up. It is the best comic adaptation for a movie, like hands down. Period.
I'm mad at myself now. Like I don't want to.
I know. You don't have to redact or whatever. I mean, like I said, this is kind of like an on-the-fly thing. I know this for a fact, though, like TMNT. So this is how I gauged it. So, we're not angels. We do a lot of mind-altering things. So I always, whenever thing that I'm on, I always watch, like, movies and stuff. You ever been on cough medicine?
I have, like
Robo-tripped.
Like, it does lean count?
No, because that's like that codeine / whatever.
I thought that's like cough medicine.
No, I mean like legit just regular ass cough medicine. I don't mean like mix of codeine and nothing like that. Like you're just drinking straight Dex.
No.
Okay, so that whenever I had that, because I had a phase of doing that. By the way, never ever do that. Anyone that's listening to this, never ever go through that phase. Never ever ever go through that phase. But
that's why they have you get when you have to buy cough medicine, you have to have an ID.
Yes. Never go through that phase. It's not worth it. Anyways, so that when any other thing I'm on, like the movie I'm watching will be more entertaining to me. But when I'm on that specifically, like I'll watch a movie and I will completely tear it apart and hate it. Also because the way that your mind is going, it frames the movie weirdly where it's just like, this seems fake. This seems really stupid. I don't like this. The only movie that didn't happen with was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Every time I looked up at the screen, I'm like, okay, this makes sense to me. I could watch that movie over and over again and not be tired of it. It's one of my favorites of all time.
So, did you ever drink cough medicine and watch Fantasia?
Yes, I did actually. I was not a fan.
Okay,
I was not a fan. Like you're talking about Disney's Fantasia, right?
Yeah, Disney's Fantasia.
Yeah, I'm like, what the fuck is Mickey doing with that goddamn broom? What is he doing? Like, boy, you got to move out of that place. Like, why are you fucking around with that wizard? Clearly, you can't handle your responsibilities. Get the fuck out. This is going through my head while I'm tripping balls, so it's like I can't enjoy that. But like when I watch Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, I'm like, yeah, those are turtles doing karate. Then okay, I'm on board. Let's do this.
That was a great '90s film.
It was. I mean, like I said, I don't know why people don't mention that as one of the better comic adaptations of our time.
I think it is.
It is, because if you read the first comics of the TMNT series, it's that.
Mm-hmm.
It's the movie. They just combined a bunch of different things.
Yep.
And that was like the best Casey Jones I've ever seen. Like I love that guy that played Casey
hell
Jones.
Yeah.
Because when I watch the new if you're a kid born in this age and you see the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movies, right up your alley. I get why kids like it. For me, as an old school fan, no. Because it's like they were trying to play off of the old 80s cartoon or the 90s cartoon.
Right.
Which is really doofy and whatever. But like, that's not what I want to see in the live action. Because I saw what you did with the live action adapting the comic series, and it was way better than this.
Right.
Even the second one where it got campier was good. We don't talk about the third one. But the second the second one was a lot better. Even did you ever see the computer CGI one, the TMNT?
I don't want to talk about that.
Okay. Well, in my opinion, it actually wasn't bad.
It wasn't bad.
It was its own isolated story, but it still had the throwbacks, and not for nothing, the fight scene between Leo and Raph is really good.
Yes. Okay, agreed. True.
It's real, and they actually still hit the character notes perfectly.
Yeah. For me, I just wish, because they continued it with CGI.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, no.
No, I understand. I understand the gripe with it because, one, it's not really a connected story to anything. It's like this random little thing. It's almost like watching an episode of a TV show.
Yeah.
And it's bittersweet like that because like they only make like a mention of the Shredder at the very end because I guess they thought they were gonna get a sequel and they never did.
Mm-hmm.
And then and there's a lot of Easter eggs from the past movies.
Yeah.
But no, I mean I still liked it for what, because like I said, they still nailed the characters correctly. The fight scenes weren't terrible, and I mean like the only gripe is like it like seemed just like way too an isolated of a movie to be still connecting to a bunch of other stuff.
Right.
But yeah. Anyways, so I guess what was that, 2?
That was 2. You said
I said TMNT and Goon, and 3. Fuck, I had this kind of thought out. Now I lost my train of thought. I guess I'm gonna go with Idle Hands.
Ooh, nice choice.
It was
that was a good choice.
First DVD I ever bought, and probably one of my favorite stoner movies of all time, because it's one of the weirder ones. But and also I really liked that entire cast. It's real. They were really good together. I had this in my head too. Fuck. Oh, goddamn. All right, I'm just gonna have to like rattle something off then. Goddamn. The last movie that really, I guess, affected me. What the fuck am I talking about? Aliens.
Oh fuck.
Aliens.
Yeah. I own all of them.
Aliens. Like, see,
Well,
here's the thing, I'm a
Covenant
huge Aliens fan, and
yeah.
that didn't even because look, Aliens, hands down.
Yep.
One of the best action movies, one of the best sci-fi movies. They're the perfect way to do a sequel next to Terminator 2, and it's just. And actually, no, they were both done by James Cameron,
Yep.
like both of them. And it's like, perfect. That movie was absolutely perfect. If you ever see the director's cut, some of the scenes they added were unnecessary, but it did enhance it, like it should. But and then honestly, if I want to encompass the whole Aliens franchise, I will.
You can.
I think I'm gonna do it. I like all those movies, despite the flaws after 2. 3, I appreciate what it was, even though David Fincher completely disowns that movie. I liked what it was for what it was, because apparently it had a lot of problems production wise going on.
How did you feel about Resurrection?
I like Resurrection.
Okay.
I do, because it's at that point I just like, all right, look, I just want to see like a dumb fucking monster alien movie, whatever. And also it's like it was because there were 2 directors on it. There was this French director that did actually a really good like indie sci-fi movie with Ron Perlman, who's also in Alien Resurrection, and then Josh Whedon, I think it was, that split the script.
Whedon.
So like all like the weird like artsy or like weird sci-fi parts is the French guy, but like all like the funny like the funny bits are Josh Whedon. Josh Whedon, obviously. Yeah. And I don't know. It's a really like. The tone of the movie's all off and whatever, but I liked it. The only thing I did not like was like the design of the human alien hybrid. I thought that was really lazy. Yeah. Other than that, I thought it was cool because it got weird. It was a lot of gore, and I didn't. And also, at that point when I first saw it, I was like 14 or 13. Yeah. So I didn't give a fuck.
I don't know. Not gonna lie though, in the '90s, the toys that came out for the Alien movies were fire.
They're awesome. They're absolutely. And you know what's sad? I think they were supposed to incorporate that whole you know how like they had different like the rhino alien, the scorpion alien, the mantis. That was supposed to be a thing in the movies, but they just never committed to it.
That's why I was like, I'm like, why did they make these?
They made figures.
They're not in the movies.
They were supposed to, but it's just like they couldn't get it done. Like there was so many things that they wanted to do with the sequels of these movies. Like in the third one, there was a rumor that they were supposed to take place on like a wooden planet. Like the planet's made like imagine a Death Star but made out of wood. That's where the movie would have taken place. Oh. I mean the series is a mess, but for the mess that it is, I do appreciate it and I do like it. Like AVP. Mm. I appreciate what they are. Like the first. Sorry, my jail barbell is like behind you.
Yeah, it's all good.
But yeah, AVP, like it definitely has its problems. A lot of those movies are actually kind of garbage. But if I want like to see just a dumb monster movie, then and I get to see just aliens and predators doing like cool shit, then fine.
It's like a filler. Yeah, it's almost like a filler to the franchise.
Yeah, pretty much. I don't consider that canon.
But would you? Then if you're counting the whole franchise, then you'd be counting also all the Predator movies. No.
No, that's a good question. That's a good question.
Separate one of them.
That's a good question. No. Aliens is a favorite. Okay. Predator is an honorable mention. Okay. I do like the series. Don't get me wrong, but it's like Aliens was my first bitch.
True.
All right. I guess what are we on? 5 now? Is this 5 now? Or are we on 4?
You had you said Goon.
I say Goon.
TMNT.
And then and then Aliens. Shit, I'm on 4.
Yep.
Fuck. It's a lot harder than I thought it would be. I guess also I'm gonna throw in there. If I'm gonna throw in if I'm just gonna throw in some Mandy. Have you ever seen Mandy?
That's with Nicolas Cage, right?
Nicolas Cage.
I did not see that yet.
Amazing movie. It's literally like watching a Doom album.
Seriously?
It's like watching because the soundtrack is also really doomy and it's really good. But it's like watching a Doom album. Like it's Nicolas Cage and his wife in the woods. Some crazy people kill the wife, and then it's a revenge story. But the way it's shot, it's so fucking trippy and out there. And it's Nicolas Cage. Like, it's like in the middle of the movie, he finds who kills the people, and then takes like this little bit of like it's supposed to be a hallucinogenic drug, but I guess it's like supposed to be, imagine taking like 5,000 hits of acid at once, and he tastes it, and then after that, the rest of the movie is just one big acid trip, a horror acid trip with gore and all. It's awesome. It is fantastic.
I have to see that. I gotta check that out then for sure. So all right, number 5, the final
one, which I know I'm gonna like think later and be like, shit, this is like I had better movies. Oh, I don't know what's with me right now. Sorry guys, I'm coughing a lot.
We could still do a bunch of honorable mentions afterwards if you'd like to do that after your 5th.
We could do that. Oh God, what's wrong here now? Oh, Nick, play some. Start humming some music while I get rid of this. Keep humming.
I don't know.
I'm so uncomfortable. There you go. Good enough. Yeah, just keep doing it. You know what? I'm gonna clean the fish tank for a little bit. Hold on.
You know, I'll just name a few honorable mentions.
Yeah, just some honorable mentions here.
I would say one of like modern ones that came out like in the past 10 years or so. Hobo with a Shotgun. That was great. That was
very good.
Great. Also, the dude from fucking Trailer Park Boys was in that too, in the beginning scene.
Oh shit, you're right.
Yeah. Fuck. There is like so many. What I love, I love it. I don't give a shit. The Super Mario Brothers movie, not true to the video game, but I still like it.
I am gonna do a review of that. Thank you, Nick, for distracting everyone while I get my shit together.
Okay.
But talking about that, I am gonna do a review of that. It is the dumbest fucking adaptation to a video game ever.
It is.
But it's one of those bad movies where it's so much fun to watch.
Exactly.
It is so fucking bad and it's so outrageously terrible.
Yep.
Because, I mean, I'll get into this later. I mean, I'm not going to do video game movies for a while, but they had such a high budget and they had such a high concept idea, and it failed so miserably that you just have to laugh at it. And it just... none of it had anything to do. I mean, like, besides names and maybe just little things here and there, had anything to do with the video game.
Not at all.
If they just said, like, they called it, like, Plumbers Invade Dinotopia or something, and that was the movie title. All right, awesome. Instant B-movie classic. But now that you put Super Mario to it, it's a complete failure because you did not hit Mario at all.
No, they didn't. But still, it's like there's... the reason being is because also I'm a fan of cheesy movies that, like you said, that where they're so bad that it's good.
Yes.
You know, what's another movie that I like? I like a bunch of cheesy movies, like B-film movies, like Dead Alive, aka Brain Dead.
That's an awesome movie. Very, very unnerving, but really good movie.
Oh yeah. That movie has like a bunch of iconic, like, horror scenes and death scenes, gore. Yeah. The Lawnmower.
Yeah, I think it actually still holds the title for goriest movie of all time. I think it still does.
You're right.
I mean, I don't really count Japanese horror because they do go overboard with that shit.
That's very true.
But I mean, outside of the Jap or Asian realm, I think maybe that is the goriest movie of all time. But yeah, no, those are some good honorable mentions. What you call it? I guess my final movie, it's a little underwhelming. It's indie. It's called John Dies at the End.
Oh, I like that movie, man.
You seen that?
Yeah.
Awesome. No, it's literally one of my favorite. That's one of those movies I can watch in the background all over and over again because I absolutely love that movie. What's his name? Paul Giamatti is in it, and he's really good. Because it's a Canadian movie, because all those actors are pretty much Canadian besides Giamatti, and it was just so good. Like I absolutely love it. Just it was really indie sci-fi, really out there. Also, some of the monologues and stuff. Like there's a in the beginning. I put it online all the time. It's this Jamaican that has a monologue about like time and space, and it's really fucking good. And they sell it. And it for a low budget movie, I think it's one of the best like low budget sci-fi movies like made in the past decade. And also I still have to read the book too, which I'm pretty amped about doing because I heard it's good. And there's another book after that continues the story. Unfortunately, they never made a sequel to the movie, but that's probably one of my that's definitely holds a spot in the top 5. But yeah, that's about it. But I guess now at this point we're gonna get into some unpleasantness. Movies that you hate the most. Bottom 5s. Yeah, bottom 5s.
Bottom 5.
Bottom like movies like you really can stand. I mean, it doesn't even have to be like, hey, look, I really hate this movie. Like, let's say you watched a movie and just had a bad experience with it or something, and you just can't watch it again. That kind of thing. This is all personal.
Mac and Me.
Mac.
I'm gonna straight go to that Mac and Me. A lot of people are like, oh, fuck you, man. I love like the random flash dance in fucking McDonald's.
No, you know what? I mean, I'll give that because you know what? I do appreciate the movie because it's a B movie, but there's so much in there that frustrates me. Like, I mean, I'll let you go just because it's probably the same gripes that I have.
It's just like, okay, it's a ripoff of a bunch of of different scenes in movies. It's a ripped off adaptation of like E.T., like very poorly done. The storyline, nothing makes like anything physically any sense. How do you like leave a trail of straws to a cup of Coca-Cola? Like, wouldn't you leave like cups or cans of Coca-Cola as a trail instead of a straw to a cup? How would that? I don't even know. That
movie was the start of global warming because of all the plastic they fucking used for that movie. But
and the promotion of McDonald's and Coca-Cola.
Oh, yeah. No, it's funny because Mac and Me. I mean, you probably saw it on Instagram. I put up those 4 movies, right?
Yeah.
And saying yes or no, and I was gonna gauge. That basically gauges what my schedule is for the movie reviews I'm doing.
Oh.
So I was actually surprised. Because, I mean, honestly, like, I was expecting more yeses for Mac and Me.
Yeah.
The winner right now is actually Tammy and the T-Rex. And then after that, it's the Guyver. And then I'm not going to do the other. I'm not doing Mac and Me for a long time now. And even I have all the notes for it. I'm just not going to do it. It's just that movie, I can't watch it again. And then, what was the other one I put up? I already forgot, but I'm not going to do that either. But it's funny that I thought people were actually going to vote yes on Mac and Me because I thought people actually liked Mac and Me. But, besides you and then, me also.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I don't know. I think that's funny. But second one. Second movie.
I just thought about it just now.
Okay.
I mean, maybe if they left it alone after a couple, I would have liked the movies, but I don't like the franchise Fast and Furious.
Ooh.
It irks me, and it's just like, actually, you know what? I can't say that. That's not it, because it doesn't. Fast and Furious doesn't bother me that bad. There's actually another movie that bothers me a lot that Vin Diesel's in.
What?
Chronicles of Riddick.
Ooh, good pull. Good pull.
Dude, it's so fucking cheesy, so fucking bad. It's not even so bad it's good. It's just like you are like, fuck this. This is fucking shit. Like, if I went to ever go see that in a theater, thank God I didn't.
Oh, man, I feel bad for people that paid for that shit.
I know.
Here's the thing. Like, I can appreciate the movie now just based on because it's such a bad, cheesy B movie. But the thing I can't forgive it for was that I saw Pitch Black. Pitch Black was phenomenal. And the character of Riddick as over-the-top, like, edgelord, like, whatever he was, I liked him. Like, that was my introduction to fucking Vin Diesel. And then apparently the animated series, Dark Fury, was actually pretty good too, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
And not for nothing, too, they went back to the roots with Riddick. where they were like, all right, let's put them on a planet again against monsters, and then we'll throw in like mercenaries and shit again. And it was all right. It was still super cheesy, but it was all right. It wasn't terrible.
Right.
But it was. I mean, it was way better than fucking Chronicles. But because they attached this whole fucking Star Wars thing to it.
Right.
Like, or they tried like making their own big thing. But anyways, you were saying.
It was just I any time I saw like a trailer for it, any of them, I was just like, I can't fucking take Vin Diesel this seriously in a fucking sci-fi film. I fucking can't, dude.
It's so hard to take him seriously these days, especially after Fast and Furious.
Well, yeah, exactly. It's just that's all you see him as.
He's fucking Dom Toretto.
Yeah.
He's not. He should just change his name legally, honestly. Yeah. Anyways, but all right. What's your next one?
Oh my god.
What are we on? Like three?
Three.
Round
The
three.
third one. Okay. I know a lot of people are like, I'm probably like pissing off like sci-fi fans right now, but
It don't matter. This is the anti-fanboy network.
This is true. Fucking Star Trek.
Ooh, why do you not? Wait. A movie? Which movie?
Like,
There's a bunch of movies.
I know. I just never liked the Star Wars.
You don't like Star Trek?
Star Trek franchise.
Franchise in general. Oh, he's going after the whole franchise.
Yeah. I.
Why though? Why?
Just. All right. I never liked just how the aliens really looked. I never really liked how fucking just. I thought the suits that they had, like with it, like it was just black and whatever different color, black and red, and the little Star Trek symbol. I'm just like, it's just. It wasn't for me, but
no, I understand.
Leonard Nimoy and would might be mad at me, and so would what's his
pretty
face?
sure he's dead.
Oh, R.I.P. then.
But no, I understand. It's not forever. I mean, like, listen. So I grew up with Next Generation,
Right.
Not the old school like what was his name? Not the old school one from the 70s with Spock and stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I grew to appreciate. I mean, Next Generation was cool because they did a lot of weird shit in there. Like I remember one episode I remember specifically was they got stuck in like a time warp thing where it like de-evolved all the people in the ship to like their base animal forms. And since everyone's like an alien, like one lady was like a frog, a like person, and then when it got to Worf, it was this like crazy like tarantula looking monster that was like stalking Picard throughout the ship, and it was awesome. But like I said, it's not a very action packed thing. They only started really introducing the action with this new reboot of the movies. It's more of like talking and philosophical stuff, and and you appreciate it more when you're older, but I understand why you don't like it. You know what I mean? Because as a kid, I didn't really like it. I only liked like weird shit like that when that happened.
Right.
Or like when my mom would be like, all right, look, they're going to have the Borg are coming. It's going to be this big epic battle. I'm going to go fucking watch that. But otherwise, I'll just put in my fucking Return of the Jedi videotape back in and watch that. You know?
Right. Star Wars over Star Trek. Fuck that.
Yeah. I mean, I appreciate both at this point, but especially since Star Wars took a nosedive. But Mandalorian fucking...
That saved it.
Mandalorian's the fucking stone cold of fucking the Star Wars franchise right now. But
the badass.
Yeah, but no, I understand your gripe with Star Trek. Trust me. But all right, so that's 4, right?
That's 3.
That's 3. Wow, I'm bad. I really got to stop drinking. But I'm not going to.
I'm thinking. I'm trying to think of a good one for 4. I'm trying to think of like a childhood one that was bad. I thought, or just one in general. Oh my god. What was so fucking bad that I fucking hated it?
It's a little bit harder, right?
Yeah,
this I mean, one, especially for me, I appreciate bad movies to a certain extent.
That in certain cases, yes.
Yes,
in certain
but
cases.
There's other ones that I'm just like, why am I watching this?
Oh my god. All right, because this is just I'm just gonna say that it's easy.
Okay.
It is just an easy one. Green Lantern.
Ooh,
that was horrible. He even
terrible.
makes fun of it himself in Deadpool.
Oh yeah, he does, and it's pretty funny when he does that.
No, exactly.
But I mean, no, that's completely understandable. That was a terrible movie. Terrible.
And what else would I say for
5?
For 5. I mean, like, dude, I could even
what?
I could even go back into because with Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool again, but not the
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
X-Men Origins Wolverine.
Yep, that was a bad one.
That's just like, oh.
You know what's sad? I defended that movie for a little while. I was like, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. And then I watch it again. I'm like, oh, I was so wrong. I was so wrong.
So, do you have a top?
Yeah, bottom five.
Bottom five.
I gotta, I guess. Well, I mean, I've already complained
Bottom
about this.
five,
I mean, number one on the top of the fucking list, Venom. Top of the fucking list.
Oh, all right.
Venom.
All right.
I'm not gonna get super into it, but just I have never watched a movie with a favorite character of mine where I actually decided it was better for me to just look at my phone than look at the screen.
Wow.
And I never rolled my eyes as much as I did in because they just butchered it. They butchered it, and it's like
I agree.
And the only problem is just because they didn't have him as a part of Spider-Man.
No.
You could, if you put him in Spider-Man and then let him spin off like he did in the comics. The comics are doofy, just like the movie. I mean, not like to the extent the movie takes it, but it's doofy. It's ridiculous. It gets to a B-movie level of stupid. But it just they completely somehow they took a campy, like edgy character and neutered it. And it pisses me off. I can't stand that movie. Like one day I'll rewatch it again, and I gave it a chance. I watched it 3 times to give it. I wanted to like this movie. I could not. I could, even on a B movie standpoint where I'm like, where my friends are like, no, it's funny because it's so bad, and I'm like, no, this is fucking terrible. Like this because there's parts that are boring.
Yep.
There's no real villain.
Nope.
And the boss fight at the end it looks like 2 pieces of a CGI diarrhea fighting each other. It was fucking bad. And the last time I saw it, I'm like, I was sick, and I had a high fever.
Right.
And then I'm just like, maybe with this high fever where I'm delusional and I smoke something, and then I watch this, maybe I'll like it. I watched it, and I think it gave me more of the flu somehow. Because I just felt sicker afterwards.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
And then I'm just like, this is terrible. I hate this fucking movie. I hate this movie. And like I said, I will, if I'm drunk enough, I will probably fight you if you defend it. But I mean, other than that, that's the top one. That is at the top of the tippy top of the list.
I'm going to agree with you, as a Marvel fan that,
Yeah.
I was just like, what the fuck is going on here? Like, why is it in San Francisco?
I mean, not for nothing. In the comics, he does move to the West Coast.
Right, but that's
for Lethal. They were taking from the Lethal Protector series.
Right.
But they took the stupidest parts of it because there's no fucking Spider-Man.
Exactly. They're trying to but they're saying they're trying to add Spider-Man into it or some other bullshit.
Oh yeah, no. Now they're gonna try and tie. I think they're gonna try and tie it in somehow. And if they do and they fix it, great. But they already have the sequel lined up which blows my mind that this movie actually did well enough that it warranted a sequel. Because people were comparing it to Green Lantern, including myself. And they're getting a fucking sequel. Somehow, some way. They are getting a sequel. And it's gonna be Woody Harrelson as Carnage.
Yeah, I know.
And I saw the pictures of what he looked like as Cletus Cassidy.
Nope.
He looks like a nu metal vocalist. He looks like a bootleg version of the lead singer of Drowning Pool. It's bad.
I've seen it. Yep.
And I'm going into this cause I'm gonna see it. I'm gonna see it.
Right.
I as much as I don't, I'm gonna see it. even if it punishes, I'm gonna see it. I know unless they do. This is what I hope. I hope they just do full stupid with it. If you're gonna ruin something for me, do what Ghost Rider did with Nicolas Cage and go full methamphetamine stupid with it.
Methamphetamines.
Because if you watch the Ghost Rider movies are atrocious.
Right.
They're horrible.
Yes, they are.
But crazy Nicolas Cage carries that movie, and then all the crazy shit around it, the terrible acting and all that stuff makes it just so funny that you're just like, all right, I'll live with this. I mean, if you're a Ghost Rider fan, stay the fuck away from it. But
yeah,
I like Ghost Rider, but I'm not a hardcore fan. But like Venom, that movie can fucking go to hell.
Jesus Christ.
What is I think the next one it's ironic because these are movies that a friend of mine took me to, and I told her you're never allowed to pick a movie ever again when we go out. Resident Evil 3, I think it was.
Oh my God.
And that's when they start going really downhill.
Yeah.
Like the first one I liked, second one went downhill, third one, that's when it took a straight up nosedive.
Right when they didn't fucking follow the video game, I got pissed the fuck off. From the first one, I was just like, you know what? Fuck this. This is ridiculous. This is so stupid. My friend's like, what was the one where they were like in the desert or some shit?
That's the third one. That's the third one.
Yeah.
That's the one I hate.
I was just like, why there's people in jumpsuits and it looks like they have Day of the Dead skull masks on.
Yeah, it turns into like the Road Warrior somehow.
Yeah.
And then like there's like a whole thing with like random mutants and stuff, and then at the very end they just show you a whole rack of just Milla Jovoviches as clones, and then she just says, "Oh, we're coming for you." I'm like, what the I literally said that at the end. I'm like, what the and I told my friend, you're not allowed to choose movies ever again. And I guess, and because I have a whole gripe with that whole franchise. I'm going to do a review of the whole franchise, but I have to mentally prepare myself to fucking sit there and watch every single fucking movie.
Jesus Christ.
But I guess that leads into the next one because she chose this other movie too. It's called Bug. So it's a movie where I don't forgot what they were advertising. It made it seem like some kind of creepy like bottle film, like thriller. But it literally is like about these two people that live like in a motel, and then they smoke crack and they go crazy, and they make it seem like this guy is like, oh, I'm being hunted by robots and stuff like that, but it's really just him. The whole movie was supposed to be about two people on drugs slowly losing their minds together, and then how it just spirals into this clusterfuck or whatever happens. But it was advertised as like this weird sci-fi thriller where like a virus or insects were infesting their bodies, but it's really just a statement about crack, and it was not done well. It was boring. It sucked. I didn't like it, and I had to pay for it in theaters, so I just didn't like it. It was not a good movie. And that also goes with any other thriller like that. Like the next one I think was called that I have. So this is like I guess 3 now. It Comes at Night. Have you ever heard of that one?
It Comes at Night? I'm not really familiar with that one.
So it was advertised as like this. It's a post-apocalyptic movie where a plague takes over humanity, and there's these people in the woods that isolated themselves so they don't get infected. And then another family comes along, and it's supposed to be about this dynamic between these two families meeting in the middle of the woods in the middle of this pandemic thing. I guess it was way more. It was more of a character study of the people. But the way they advertised was like, oh, there's gonna be zombies. There's gonna be like this monster. There's gonna be like all these like. It's gonna be like a, not a mental thriller, and it's gonna be a horror movie. And when you watch it, it's just slow. Nothing's happening. There's like maybe 2 jump scares, and then by the end of the movie, you're just like, what the fuck? Nothing came at night, by the way. Nothing came ever at night. It was just like these weird hallucinations people had, and then it was about the paranoia of them like getting sick or whatever. It just wasn't fun. If they
fucking crash.
It was really annoying because I also paid for that in fucking theaters.
Oh.
I think that's really where the theme it lies. If I paid for this and it wasn't up to snuff, I really got mad. Other than that, I think another one, it more or less, it was like a letdown for me. I don't know. I've really got to actually kind of ramp up the level of how I rate these bad movies, just because I know there's some that I'm just like, what the fuck? Why am I watching this? I really just can't think of them right now, except for like, we actually mentioned this when we were talking about Godzilla on the Trash Culture podcast, where the Godzilla had these animated films, and on Netflix.
Oh yeah.
And I love the first one. Second one got weird. The third one I completely did not like because the one, it basically just said humanity's fucked. You guys just have to deal with whatever the fuck you got. There's no happy ending, which usually I'm okay with. But like the main character goes crazy and does something stupid, and it's at the very end, like it's a last fuck you, like hey, you guys shouldn't love these characters, that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And also they ruin King Ghidorah for me because they turn him into this weird energy monster, not like a 3-headed dragon. And the whole premise after that is like it's not even really about Godzilla. It's about them like, hey, should we live here? There's a mention of Mecha Godzilla, but it turns out it's like this city that I don't know. It got too weird, too meta, and they took too many liberties with it. Where I'm like, all right, I appreciated it at first, but you guys went too far with it, and now it's not even really Godzilla anymore.
No,
so
it honestly isn't. And the funny thing is, it's like. In the new one, Godzilla is the villain, and it just seems like Godzilla is gonna lose, and Kong is gonna be like the winner. You know, like, and there's a lot of things in that trailer that kind of bother me.
Yeah,
like you said, I didn't know what he was like, what Kong was doing with like when.
When he had that Mjolnir moment with the hammer that he made. I think this is what's probably gonna happen. Because these movies are very formulaic. They always are. Mm. So, and like it's already mentioned, Mechagodzilla's in it.
Right.
All right. So this is probably what the story's gonna be. So they're bringing Kong for some unknown reason. They're bringing Kong to to an actual like populated area with humans, as opposed to being on Skull Island.
Right.
And then Godzilla attacks him. But that's not really Godzilla. That's Mechagodzilla. Mm. So, when they get to land and, Kong defeats Godzilla at that point, he finds Godzilla again on land, the real Godzilla, and then they go at it, except, like, Godzilla's like, what the fuck? Why are you attacking me? But then they throw in this whole thing, like, there's a war that's been going on for generations, that kind of thing, whatever. And they're throwing in the random epic shit.
Yeah.
But then they fight, but then Mechagodzilla comes in, and then they have to team up, beat Mechagodzilla, and then at the end they like fist bump and then walk away. Like that's really what I think is gonna happen. Honestly, it's gonna be a Batman v Superman scenario.
Oh my god!
Where it's just like they're like fighting each other, then out of nowhere Doomsday comes in, and then they have to team up, and then maybe throw in Wonder Woman, I guess, Mothra or something. I don't know.
Throw in Mothra.
Just throwing in Mothra.
Please don't go Mothra. Oh my god.
I did like they brought in Mothra in the last movie, but they only hinted at the twins that bring out Mothra that sing. They hinted at them. They didn't actually.
They didn't do it?
They didn't actually do like two twins singing to bring Mothra to life. They hinted that there's like these two twins that have like some kind of connection with Mothra.
That was always like the funny part of those whenever Mothra came out.
Oh yeah, but that's the thing too.
They were in like the clam or whatever the fuck it was.
Yeah, and that's the thing too with this new movie coming out. It does give me a little hope that it'll be good, just because they are getting more lighthearted with it and campy, which is fine.
Right.
I just hope they don't make it underwhelming. That's what I hope. I hope like that's my concern. Like I hope with the trailer didn't just give us the money shots. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then everything else is just like the humans again being stupid. That's what I'm afraid of. If they just go, hey, look, straight monster fights. We're going to get stupid crazy with it, because I'm seeing little hints of different movies in there, like Pacific Rim and all this other stuff. You get crazy, because that's a Pacific Rim thing. Like when they're fighting in that neon city, and then, King Kong brings out a fucking 2x4 from somewhere and just slams it on something. They do that in Pacific Rim. He brings out a tugboat and just smacks it against a kaiju's face. Like, it's a thing. But make it fun, and then I'll enjoy it.
Yeah.
But I guess we're at 5 now, right? For my bottom? Yeah, I think that's 5.
That was 5, yeah.
No, I have one more, right?
You had one more? I thought you did 5.
No, I think I did one more.
What was the last one you had?
It was the third Godzilla movie from Netflix.
Oh,
maybe that's it. I don't know. Sorry, guys, we're a little lit right now. So I mean, that's gonna be a general theme in all of these podcasts, unless my guest is not prone to that.
Oh yeah. Every time I'm on here,
Yeah, we're gonna be lit, so it's fine. Woo. But anyways. So I guess we're gonna wrap this up. Unless there's any topics you want to tackle last minute.
I think
good.
I'm pretty good for right now. I'll just save some other stuff, so we got more stuff for later.
All right, awesome. So thank you guys for listening. Once again, I am your host, Oscar, and I am with
Nick.
Nick, and he will be a reoccurring member onto the show. So thank you guys for listening, and leave some shit in the comments, because I guess that's what people say at the end of all this shit, right?
Yep.
I don't really want to hear your voices. Fuck you guys. Anyways, bye.